Okay. So what is trigger first of all? Like trigger is similar to your automation tools. Automation tools means like workflow, process builder, flow builder. What you can do there you can do some kind of automation. Whenever you are updating a record, you are creating a record, you want to automatically update another record, or you want to automatically send an email alert. You want to do what? You want to do something on the when you want to post something to the chatter group. Now using standard automation tools, almost you can do everything because flow is getting stronger day by day. So using flow also you can do a lot of things, but there are some few things that you cannot accomplish using those standard automation tools. Then only we will come into the trigger. So trigger is nothing but a kind of automation only, by using Apex code, by using development part, you can achieve some customization. Okay. So, I mean, as it is customization, that means if something is not possible using flow or workflow or process builder, obviously you can do that by using trigger, because that is customization. Customization means you can do anything. Now you have to think about the logic. That's it. That's the meaning of trigger. How a trigger looks like, simple, no difficulties. Trigger name on object, and here events, like this. So if you remember, first of all, whenever we are trying to create a rule, workflow, process builder, or flow builder, you have to choose an object for the first time. On which object you want to create the flow, or on which object you want to create the process builder or workflow rule. So here also, you can create on a specific object, that may be account, contact, opportunity, training underscore C, department underscore C. And events means what? Like before insert, after insert. Like if you remember, after record is updated, after record is created, after record is deleted. Or in flow, you have the before save operation as well, like before record is created, before record is updated, before record is deleted. But in trigger, there are total 7 events. What are those events? Before insert, after insert, before update, after update, before delete, after delete, and after undelete. What is the meaning? Before a record is saved in database, like you are trying to create a record in database. Let's say you are trying to create a new record in database. So whenever you're trying to create a new record in database, suppose you are entering the form and you are clicking on the save button. So before the account is saved in database, what you can do? You can check for any duplicate thing, like if any account names is already there in database or not. Or maybe you can check some validation rules. So this comes under where? Before the record is saved in database. Okay. Or let me be more clear. Let me first of all talk about the types. Types of trigger. 2 types of triggers are there. 2 types. Before save trigger and after save trigger. So before save means before the record is saved in database. Suppose you are updating a record. So before the record is updated into the database, I mean the updating, what fields you are updating, that has been reflected to the database beforehand that. Or you are inserting a record. So before the record is inserted in database. After means after the record is inserted in database, after the record is updated in database. Delete means before the record is deleted from database. After delete means after the record is deleted from database. And undelete means, you remember, if you are deleting a particular record that has been moved to the recycle bin rather than permanently it is deleted. And in the recycle bin, it will be there for 15 days. Within 15 days, it is recoverable. You can restore it, right? You can restore it. So the events before undelete, there is no scenario. Okay. In before undelete, there is no scenario. You have only after undelete. After record is, okay, after a particular record is undeleted. Undeleted means from the recycle bin, it is reverted back to the database.
Can you repeat the last test again?
Yeah, I am saying
before undelete.
If you are restoring any record from the recycle bin back to the database.
Okay, I got it.
restoring any record from the recycle bin back to the database, that is your undelete.
Okay.
Now let's talk about some more scenarios like so these are the events you have got, right? And these are the types, like it is a before save trigger or after save trigger. I mean, it is after the record is deleted or undeleted, or it is saved like that. I mean, after it is inserted or not. And these are the remaining things are like the what I can say. Remaining things are events, like it is before undelete, after undelete, like that. Now talking about some trigger context variables. I mean, these may be very hard for you to as of now to understand, but just understand the terms. Here we have is after, sorry, trigger dot is after, trigger dot is before. So using this, you can easily understand if there it is an after insert operation, sorry, after save operation, then your is after will be true. After save operation, and is before will be true if it is an before save operation. Then we have some more things like trigger dot is insert, trigger dot is update, trigger dot is delete, and a trigger dot is undelete. Okay, so trigger dot is insert will be true if it is an insert operation, if you are inserting any record. Is update will be true if you are updating a record. Trigger dot is delete will be true if it is a deleting, I mean if you are deleting a record. And undelete will be true if you are undeleting a record, you are restoring one record from the recycle bin back to the database. Okay,
This context variable using events, or this is different?
so, sorry, repeat again.
These context variables are using events, or they are just different things?
No, these
Because
context variables will be used in our, I mean, whenever we are writing our code, then we'll be using it.
No, I mean, like you said, like we have 7 events for trigger. So it says before insert, we have is after and is before, and we have is insert. So it is like the same as events, or a different?
Yes, it is same like, I mean, basically using events, I mean, using your context variables, you will be checking something and you will be writing your piece of code. Okay.
Okay.
And using events, you are mentioning your trigger when your trigger will be active.
Okay.
Context variable means you can check some criteria and based on that you can write some logic, you can perform some code. But events means you can mention on which events your trigger will be active. Like if you remember the process builder, there we can mention whenever a record is created, or we can mention whenever a record is created or updated. So we can mention there, right, on which event the workflow rule will run, or on which event the flow will run, on which event the process builder will run. I'm going to run that particular process builder only for an insert operation or insert and update operation. Those things you can mention. So let's create one trigger. That's better, I think. That's better, I think. Let's create one trigger. How to create? Simple. Go to file, click on new, click on Apex trigger, and here give the name of the trigger. Like I'm giving account trigger. This name is up to you, but convention says always append your name with the trigger because it is a trigger. And in the S object, you can choose the object. On which object you want to create the automation. I want to create that automation on my account object, so I'm choosing account and I'm clicking on submit. So here see, trigger, account trigger, on account, and by default there is before insert. If you want to invoke here, after insert as well, you can write it. So basically you can mention here inside of this primary brackets on which events your trigger will be activated. And by default, when you create a trigger, by default it is active. Like normally for the rules, you have to manually click on activate button to activate. But here when you create a trigger, by default it is active. How to deactivate it one? How you can deactivate a particular trigger? For that, you can go to your quick find from the home. From the home, you can go to your quick find. From there, you can search for Apex trigger. You can search for Apex trigger. Click on this. And here you can come to any particular trigger. Let me, like, suppose I want to deactivate this particular trigger. Let me deactivate this particular trigger. Suppose I'm deactivating it. So just disable this checkbox, is active, and save it.
Mhm. How do we know without checking Apex trigger from the
Sorry?
developer console? From developer console, how do we know that it is active or not?
Yeah, from the developer console, you cannot identify.
Okay.
You have to check from here on. Right, Apex trigger, and from here you can check this inactive or active.
Mhm.
Like I have deactivated these two triggers. Just go to the edit. Okay, just go to edit and choose that particular trigger, which one you want to deactivate. Just disable this checkbox, that's it.
Okay.
Clear, right?
Yes, clear.
Now let's create one trigger. I mean, let's have some scenarios, and based on that, let's problem solve. To create a trigger on my account object where I want, if a account is created, whenever a particular account record is created, if the account rating is hot, okay, if the account rating is hot, in the account record there is a field called description. The description field I want to automatically update to newly created account. I want, if you are creating a new account, and if the rating is hot, then this description field will be automatically updated to newly created account. So first of all, you have to understand it is a before SAP trigger or after SAP trigger. And I will say it is a before SAP trigger. Why? Because whenever you are inserting one account, or whenever you are updating one account, or whenever you are deleting one account, if you are doing some operation on the same account that you are either inserting or updating or deleting, it has to be a before SAP. Like suppose you are deleting a record and you want to throw a validation error. So if the account is already deleted, then what's the meaning of throwing the error? Right? Or if you're trying to insert one account record, if the account is already saved in database, what's the meaning of throwing an error? You cannot. So it has to be always before save operation. Like here, I want to update the account description if the account rating is hot. That means I want to make a operation on the same record that I am inserting in database. Right? So it has to be before save trigger. Then when you will go with after save, like you are inserting one account record, and after the account is inserted, let's take you want to update any child contact, or you want to update any particular opportunity field, or maybe you want to send some email alert. So it has to be after save. After the account is updated, or after the account is deleted, or after the account is inserted, then only you can get the confirmation, okay, the account has been deleted already, or updated already, or has been inserted in database successfully. Then only you can update the child opportunities, child cases, child contacts, or maybe you can throw some email alert. So then it will be after save operation. Clear?
Yes, it is clear.
Now here, how to write a trigger. And for that, I'm just showing you the best practice, and always follow it. Doesn't matter who is saying what. Whenever you are writing a trigger, avoid writing any logic here. Like if you want here also, you can write any logic, but preferably create one Apex class, append it with handler. Handler means this particular Apex class is going to control the functionality of the trigger. Whatever the logic you have to write, you write it inside of the Apex class and call it from the trigger whenever you need to. And here you can check some conditions. Like I am checking if trigger dot is insert. I am checking when this trigger dot is insert will be true if you are inserting one account record, or maybe using data loader, you are using you are inserting 10 lakhs of records. In that case, your trigger dot is insert will be true. And inside of that, I'm checking again if trigger dot is before. That means if, and here let's check again for is after as well. So if the trigger, I mean, if you are inserting one account record, then your trigger dot is insert will be true, because you are inserting a record, you are inserting an account record. Then first of all, your trigger dot is before will be executed before the account is saved in database. And after the account record is successfully saved in database, then only your trigger dot is after will be true. Now let me write here one particular method. Suppose I am writing one static method. You can make it non-static as well. Public static void before insert. Suppose that is my method name. And here it is after insert. Now let's call this before insert method from your trigger handler. Like here, For my before, I'll be calling this before insert method. And for my after, I'll be calling my after insert method. I have not written any logic yet. I have just checked some Boolean checks, like if it is an insert operation or if it is a is before or is after, and simply I'm just calling my Apex class method. That's it. Now there are some more context variables you should be aware about. That those are trigger.new, trigger.old, trigger.new map, trigger.old map. What are these? Trigger.new means list of records. Those are going to be inserted in database. These are list of records. Those are already existing in database. New map means map of ID as a key and record as a value just got inserted in database. And trigger.old map, map of ID as a key and record as a value already existing in database. Suppose you are inserting 10 account records. Okay. So your trigger.new will return what? List of 10 account records that you are trying to insert. Suppose you are trying to delete some 5 account records. So that means what? List of 5 account records are trigger.old that you are trying to delete from database. Then what is new map and old map? Remember, new map you cannot use for your insert operation. I mean, for your before save operation. For your before insert operation, you cannot use new map. Why? Because for the new map, you need the record ID as a key. And if the record is not saved in database, how can you get the record ID? That means new map you cannot use. This question is asked in interview. Cannot use for before insert scenarios. Why? Because if the record is not saved in database, how the ID will be generated? ID will not be there. So if the ID is not there, that means you cannot use the new map for your before insert scenario. And trigger.old map is map of ID as a key and record as a value. Okay, that is already there in database. Since so long. Now here, whenever you are doing a insert operation, we use the context variable as trigger.new. We had to pass simply inside of this method. So what this trigger.new is holding? This trigger.new is holding the new list of account record that you are trying to insert in database. Suppose you are trying to insert 20 account records. So those 20 account records will be passed into this before insert as well as after insert method as a list of account. Which list of account? List of account that you are trying to insert in database. So it is what? Trigger.new means what? It is list of account. That means here in this method also, you have to pass the parameter. Let's take one variable name. That means this particular ACC list is ultimately going to contain those 20 accounts that you are trying to insert in database. Tell me, do you have any queries?
I didn't get it.
Sorry?
I didn't get it.
It is not clear?
It is not clear. From the account trigger, why did you add both like trigger.new?
Okay. Suppose today you are going to insert 20 account records. That means you have to do some logic on those 20 account records, right?
Yes. Yes.
That means those 20 account records will be stored in this trigger.new.
Okay.
Okay.
But why you use trigger.new for after insert?
Okay, for after insert also, see, if you are inserting one record before that record is saved in database, there is one operation, and after the record is saved in database, there is another kind of operation.
So we can like do both before insert and after insert. We can like add trigger new.
No, actually the thing is, here I am having two scenarios. That's why I'm doing this. I mean, my requirement is account inserted if account inserted with rating of hot, description should be newly created account. Another one is if account inserted, then also create a child contact with. So here, which is what? Here both are inserted. That means both are going to be an insert scenario. But which one is I mean before insert and which one is after insert? If you see, if an account is inserted,
before,
create a child contact. So after an account is inserted, then only you can create a child contact. That means here it has to be what? After save.
okay.
More precisely, it has to be after insert. But if you see on the first case, if an account is inserted with a rating of hot, then you want to update the description field to newly created account. That means what? It has to be
Before save.
Or more precisely, before insert. Is it clear up to this part?
Yes, it is clear. Do you hear me? I said it is clear.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, like this trigger.new, suppose you are inserting 10 account records. That means for those 10 account records, this trigger.new, that is nothing but this new 10 account record as a list of account record that you are trying to insert in database. That means those 10 account records you have to check. Suppose among those 10 account records, 5 accounts having rating as hot, other account doesn't have any rating. That means those 5 accounts you have to update. Among those 10 accounts, those 5 accounts you have to update. So how can you do that? Okay, here this trigger.new is this ACC list. I mean list of account, which list of account that you are trying to insert in database. Okay, so here I will simply do a loop for account ACC list, and I will check here if ACC dot rating equals to if the rating of the account equals to hot, then only the description field should be updated to newly created account. Now how it is happening? Let me try with a single example. Let's take here I'm inserting first account record 1, and here I'm giving the rating as hot. So what should happen in that case? My description field should be automatically populated because I'm inserting account record as well as my rating is hot. So if you click on this save, see before the record is saved, there is a loading, right? So this loading is the before save operation. Okay, this is the before save operation. Now the account is saved in database. So you click on the save button. There is some little bit, some microsecond, some millisecond processing time. That is your before save, before the record is saved in database. Now here the rating is hot. That means what should happen? Check the description field has been automatically updated to newly created record. Okay, your trigger will be active because your before insert scenario is there. Okay, now it will check if it is a is insert scenario. Yes, it is an insert scenario. Then it will check if it is a before insert scenario. Yes, it is also a before save operation. Then you are calling this particular before insert method where you are passing trigger.new, and trigger.new is ultimately holding this account record, first account record 1, that is holding here, right? So this trigger.new, that is list of account, is holding this particular account record, and you are passing it here, the SCC list. Currently SCC list containing only one account record. So simply you are looping over that particular account record. You are checking if the account rating is hot, then update the account description to newly created account, like here. But now tell me.
It is clear.
Sure. Still any doubts?
Yes. No doubt. It's clear.
Now what we have to do, we have to create a child contact with it as well. Right? We have to create a child contact with it as well. So child contact creation, it has to be what? It has to be an after insert.
After. Yes, after save.
Right? It has to be an after insert scenario. That means what? Here in my after insert, that means after the account is saved in database, I'll be calling my after insert scenario, and there also I'll be passing trigger.new. That means the new account that he has been inserted in database. Now what you can do, first of all, I will take one list of contact. One list, new list of contact. Now here I will loop over this particular account list. For account ACC list. I mean, you are looping over the newly created account, and there you are going to create a new contact. So how to do that? Simply contact con new contact. And here you can write contact dot last name. Let's take it should be ACC name plus contact con dot account ID equals to ACC dot ID. Or better, let's create some child opportunity with it. I mean, when you create a particular account, child opportunity should be created as well in the database. OPP. Here, opportunity name should be OPP name plus opportunity. OPP dot account ID will be ACC dot ID. OPP dot close date, it should be system dot today plus, let's take 90 days. I am giving 90 days from today onwards. And OPP dot stage name I am giving as prospecting. Then I am adding this particular OPP, I mean opportunity, inside of the blank opportunity list. I'm writing here OPP list dot add OPP, and then outside of the for each loop I'll be checking if this OPP list dot size, if it is greater than 0, that means if this list is containing at least one opportunity, then only I am going to insert that list in database. That means whenever you are inserting on account record, let me explain from here. Here I'm writing test account. This is my account name. and I'm clicking on save. So first of all, what will happen? It is an insert scenario. So your trigger will be active. Okay, and remember this event has to be there. Otherwise, your trigger will not be active. Here both events are there, so it is fine. So it is an insert. I mean, it is an insert scenario. So the trigger.isInsert will be true, and after it is true, it will be coming here. Trigger.isBefore. So if your isBefore, okay, then what you are doing? You are calling your before insert scenario. Okay, that means this method will be called. That will be holding this test account, right? And here ultimately you are looping over the test account, but in the test account rating is null. That means what? Account description field will not be updated. Your account description field will not be updated because the rating is blank, null. It means description should not be updated. Right. Now for your after scenario, after the account is saved in database, your isAfter will be true. Right? Your isAfter will be true. Then what you are doing, you are calling your after insert scenario and you are passing that account record, that is test account, right? So you are doing what? The test account you are storing in the SC list. Now you are looping over that particular SC list and you are creating a child blank opportunity. You are giving the opportunity name as opportunity name. Sorry, it should be ACC name plus opportunity. Opportunity account ID should be ACC.ID. And opportunity close date should be 90 days from 26th of July and stage should be prospecting. Then you are adding that opportunity inside of the blank opportunity list, and outside of the for each loop you are checking if the list is containing more than one element, you are inserting the list in database. So this is not going to work because I have written some wrong logic previously. Let me give your account name as test ACC1. Let's save it. If you see, one child opportunity should be created. Here see, test SCC1 opportunity. What is the close date? 23rd of October. That is 90 days from today. And stage is what? Prospecting. And see, the opportunity is added here as a child opportunity due to this line. OPP.account ID equals TCC.ID. That's how it is going to work. It's clear, right?
Yes, it's clear.
Next. What I can tell.
Sumi, when you start this handler, you said no matter what the other says, like create like an account trigger handler. So what is the advantage of that?
No, not
over the others.
The thing is, it is more manageable. It becomes more manageable. You can write the same logic here as well. If you do not want this, you can write the logic like this as well. Let me comment out this line, and you can directly write from here as well for account ACC trigger.new. If you feel like, I mean, if you feel comfortable in doing this, you can do that as well. Not an issue.
Okay, so like calling method is better, right?
And here also you can, I mean, same logic you can write here as well. Okay.
Okay, I got it.
I will always prefer writing a code inside of the handler and calling it from trigger. That's better, I think.
Okay, got it.
Your choice, your call. Because here this becomes more manageable. Your trigger looks like this, and your handler will look like this. So always put your logical operations inside of an Apex class only. Okay, then call it from trigger whenever you need to.
Okay. Should we like create more handler for each trigger, or
No, that's not
only one handler is
thing. If you write multiple triggers and if you use the same Apex class defined methods, that is fine. That is fine.
okay?
But generally in the real-time scenario, the code becomes so much bigger. Okay, for one trigger we write only one handler. But if you want, let's say you are creating only one trigger on account object, and another, you are creating one trigger on account, another trigger on contact object, and you want to use the same Apex class handler, you can use that. Because here the trigger is not associated with any handler directly. You are simply calling that Apex class method, right? And what I have said, you can call your Apex class method from anywhere if the method is public.
Yes.
That means from any trigger handler, any trigger you can call your Apex class handler if the method is private. Method is public.
Got it.
It's fine, right?
Yes.
Okay, for today, I think we are good. We'll get started again.
We are good, I guess.
Yes. Okay. Then I think we are good to wrap up for today, right?
Yes. Please share the code with me.
Share
in the code you have written.
Yes. I'll do that. I'll do that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. See you.